Earlier this week, I received a phone call from the assisted living facility that my mother lives in. She had taken a pretty significant fall, and they were letting me know that she was being transported by ambulance up to the ER. I told them which hospital to take her to because that's where her doctors were at in her medical history. And I was in town already, so of course I dropped everything and got in my car to drive over there. And just as I was about to arrive at that hospital, I got call number 2 saying, no, we've changed the plan. Now she's going to hospital number 2. So I start heading over there. Before I even get there, then they call again and they say, no, now we're going to hospital number 3 because they have the best trauma center in the city. So, of course, now I head over to hospital number 3 to be there when she arrives. But as I was driving, I couldn't help but wonder, gosh, how bad is this fall that we need the best trauma center in the city? And I also just kept thinking about how most of my life I've heard my family say that oftentimes falls like this are the beginning of the end. And I just wonder, what is this going to mean for us long term? What is my mom's experience going to be now going forward? Let me tell you, it's been a long and exhausting week. Every day I've made the trip into town to go see her at the hospital. It's very emotionally draining to see my parent this way. Very draining. I also am not real fluent in the language of medical, in all things medical. And you know how it feels like you're missing things when a language isn't your first language and you don't have full fluency. So yes, I'm asking a lot of questions and I'm asking them to repeat and explain and all of that, but it's just another layer to this week's experience. I'm also taking a crash course on Medicare and supplement insurance and learning who pays what when your loved one is discharged from the hospital and sent to rehab. And I have to say, watching all of this week, there's that nagging question that is often not talked about. And it's that part that says, you're watching the medical machine do what they do, and you're just wondering how much is appropriate. 6 years ago, I was blessed to be able to move back home to be here for my parents as they aged. And I've watched over the years as various members of the community reach that point of their life where, their medical situation presents itself, whether it be cancer, heart disease, dementia, etc. And I've watched a lot of these cases where it just felt like maybe the medical machine had kind of sucked them in, and I was left wondering, how much choice does the family get in all this? How much choice does the person get, right? I know generations past, there's a story about my great-grandmother. She fell, and when they found her, they scooped her up, put her into bed, and 3 days later she passed. And I think about how different the medical access was that many years ago, and just even how different the expectation was for somebody's life back then, and how things have changed. And so I asked myself, do we have much choice in what happens to us when we reach that stage of our life? And something I've really come to appreciate this week was, I firmly believe we do. But I think that choice presents itself a lot sooner in life than we think. In some cases, maybe as much as 20 years sooner. I'm actually at that stage right now where I'm looking at it saying, these are the choices I need to be making now. It seems to me we have 3 different paths we can choose. First one being, let's throw everything at it that we've got. Let's find a diet that is healthy and let's stick to it at all costs. Just stand up to every cultural, family, etc. get together and say, I'm choosing to eat this instead because I know it's better for me. To exercise regularly, to constantly be incorporating cardio and strength training and weight resistance training. To fully embrace your medical team and what they tell you and what they prescribe and what they suggest. To fully embrace your holistic team and what solutions that they identify. To just basically take everything culturally, medically, socially available in the toolbox and put them all into use. The second option I see is to say, genetically been handed a card. Let's let that card play itself out. Let's acknowledge the gift that's in that genetic card and let's let nature take its course. But until then, by God, do your part. Eat right, exercise, stay active, give back, be active in your community, give what you have to others. A third option I see is to say, you know what, I kind of don't want to have to control my diet so much. I want to be able to enjoy, church dinners or family get-togethers. I want to be able to eat what's there. I don't want to have to be that odd one that says I'm on a diet. Maybe I don't feel like exercising so much anymore because you know what, joints are hurting and it's hard and it's a lot of pain. I want that my medical team take responsibility to fix this. I want them to prescribe a pill or to implant a device. I want them to fix it. I've seen outcomes for these choices. The first one, not so much. I don't really have as much data on that one. The choice to let Mother Nature run its course and to accept the gift that is in your genetic makeup, I've seen that one play out a few times. And what I've seen is people who live a pretty full life right up until the end. Or the third choice, I've seen that one play out also. And in a lot of cases, it seems like the end game is going to be somebody gets trapped inside their own body and they're in a bed in a nursing home. And that one just seems really tough to me. And so as I'm pondering all this, like I said, I'm at that age now where I know that the choices I'm making now are going to be the ones that I get to have in my future. I realize that I'm making these choices. First of all, there's the common phrase, get your affairs in order. Okay, well, I've got a will and all that, but I want to take it up a notch. I want to have my attorney and I sit down and find a way to make it an even smoother transition for my son when I pass. There's a lot of generational history here. We are like generations 5 and 6 to be here in this community, and there's just a lot here, and I want to make sure that that's all organized and documented and ready to pass off to whoever is going to get it next. I'm also making the choice that I need to get myself moved. I absolutely love being home. And for all that I love it, and as much as the quiet just nourishes my soul, I also come to realize that it's not realistic to think that as I move into that stage of aging, that it's appropriate for me to stay here. I need to start getting ready to leave sooner rather than later. I want that I'm in a community and in a location that supports my needs. For example, I want to be someplace that can do delivery if I'm sick with a cold or flu virus and I need something brought to me. I want to be in an area that I can easily get to the stores. I'm not battling the elements of weather like here. I want to be in a community where I'm around people and there's activities and I can be amongst people and continue to give back to those around me, directly one-on-one. And lastly, I'm making a choice about which path I'm going to choose for my end of life. And I'm choosing to accept the gift that Mother Nature gives me. I am fighting with diet and exercise because I want to be healthy and I want to be independent and I want to be a blessing and I want to give back. I want to give to my community, I want to give to my friends, I want to give to my family. For as long as I am still here, I'm still in His service and I want to do a really good job. But when my time comes, I want to go home. I know where I'm going. I may not know what it looks like, but I know who's on the other side of that door. And I'm pretty excited about that adventure that awaits for me. So I'm making that choice too. Watching my loved one this week has been incredibly difficult. I love my parents so much. And I honor them and their choices. And I'm here and I will stay with them till the very end. But I also love my son very, very much. And I I want to try to spare him some of this pain. Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts. Have you cared for an aging parent? What's that experience been like for you? Have you walked alongside a parent as they faced end of life? And how did that all work out? What was that like for you? And what choices are you making for your future and your end of life experience? What choices are you making not only for yourself, but ultimately the impact that it'll have on your children and your family and your loved ones? Until next time, much love. God bless.